Yeah, I feel like the rhetoric is in the Republican Party, and especially in state legislatures, and among these kind of demagogue supporters and talking heads, is just getting increasingly more violent. And I think that's ultimately what they want. They want to completely just eradicate, especially for trans people. It's just really dangerous and scary to think about. Have you seen anyone... I would imagine the answer is no. But has anyone, after your reporting or after this has been revealed, have they tried to, asked for their donations to be refunded, or just pledged to not do this anymore, or anything, any change? Of course,
not on this issue. Not on this issue. Obviously, I've had some other, as you sort of mentioned at the beginning of our conversation here. I do this across a number. It's not the only thing I do, but I do it pretty regularly across a number of issues. So I have had corporations, for example. One of the first things I did in 2018, there were a whole slew of major corporations who were still supporting Steve King, who was a congressman there for Iowa.
Christ.
And I don't know what kind. I think it was he endorsed, oddly, like a white supremacist who was running for the mayor of Toronto or some Canadian city, but it was just so over the top.
Yeah, it was Faith Goldie, I believe. Yeah,
it was so over the top. I was like, who could possibly associate with this person anymore? And it was AT&T. It was all these companies. So in that case, when I did bring this up, ultimately, a number of companies did that. A number of companies got their money back from Cindy Hyde-Smith after she said that she would attend the lynching. People have forgotten about for the most part.
Forgot about that, but it all just came flashing back.
And of course, January 6th, Hallmark asked for their money back from Josh Hawley. I don't think they got it, but they asked for it back. So it does happen, but not on this issue. And I think it's going to be interesting as we watch this kind of progress, if that changes at all, if corporations start feeling some pressure, or if they're just kind of fades away and they just continue tweeting happy flags and everything like that, and not really worrying about what's going on at the state legislature. So
yeah, and I think one of the flashpoints of this entire sort of conversation, and Jordan, you referenced the sort of heightening rhetoric, anti-LGBTQIA rhetoric that people on the right are getting comfortable using. And I think Disney is the ultimate kind of example right now of a company that is trying to have that both ways and is having it just completely blow up in their face. We see this big now outrage cycle on right-wing media being built because Disney is like doing the absolute bare minimum of having a small amount of representation in their new film Lightyear, which apparently indicates that a same-sex couple exists, and that's the big controversy. So you see Disney basically doing the bare minimum to include this kind of representation in their film, and conservatives are just losing their mind over this. Like Ben Shapiro, it's really shocking. I think the way this kind of anti-LGBTQIA rhetoric is kind of becoming normalized again. These kind of certain things that felt like they had already kind of been settled in terms of people getting their rights. And people like Ben Shapiro are now getting very comfortable with just this suggestion that including any kind of same-sex representation in any film, particularly a film from children, is inherently this political decision. It's brainwashing children. It's grooming, all this kind of stuff. And meanwhile, Disney is not a company that is a friend to marginalized groups. It's a gigantic evil megacorporation who's literally just doing the bare minimum to kind of signal that they have these progressive values. And I think it's a good example of how you can't really continue to have it both ways, because it's never going to be enough for conservatives. Even when they try to make these kind of small feints at acceptance, they're always going to treat it like it's part of some insidious political plot that's going on. Thank you for listening to this sample of the Insurgents podcast. To hear the rest of this episode and for more bonus content, please subscribe at theinsurgents.substack.com.